This is the process of the Anointment, Relaxation Mastery, the 72 steps. First step begins with the substantia nigra, the ventral tegmental area, raphe nuclei, and basal forebrain, which orchestrates the claustrum. The cerebrum also orchestrates the claustrum. The claustrum is an area of the brain that secretes the anointing oil to the medulla. The anointing oil is cerebrospinal fluid that descends into the spine or central nervous system or CNS. The spinal cord is an extension of the brain. It also does thinking. The anointing oil travels down the spine to and via the solar plexus. The solar plexus is where Moses, or the Mosaic Oil, is born in Goshen. Goshen means drawing near, connect to God, or gut feeling. Descending further down the spine at the end of the solar plexus, Moses grounds or earths. Moses meets bush burned with fire in Horeb. This bush burned with fire is called the burning bush. Horeb means glowing heat, which is a strong gut feeling. Moses takes off his shoes and grounds at this location. Moses grounds, earths, connects, and the gut feeling is formed strongly. Moses descends further down the spine to a place called Egypt. The Mosaic oil travels further down the spine to the sacral plexus. Here, Moses releases the 10 plagues. The sacral plexus, or the sacrum, is where the burnt offering is sacrificed, or sacrifices are made of the burnt offering. These sacrifices are animal sacrifices of dominance, aggression, and territoriality. Further down the spine, Moses pours out the blood of the burnt offerings at the base of the altar, or the spine, which is called the coccyx. Here, blood or desires are poured out of sadism and masochism. These sacral and coccygeal desires at the altars of the sacrum and coccyx are called Egyptian desires, or lower desires of Sodom and Gomorrah, desires of wickedness. The door of the tent of meeting is at the base of the altar at the coccyx. The coccyx is the heave offering altar at the thigh to heave or lift up to heaven. Moses, or the Mosaic oil, descends to the coccyx and ascends up the coccyx to the sacrum and eventually to heaven, which is called the brain. The goal is to go to the land flowing with milk and honey in the Garden of Eden, which is heaven, or the head. The oil, or the Mosaic oil, the CSF, or cerebrospinal fluid, and hormones travel up the 33 vertebrae, or 33 staves, of the spine. The Mosaic anointing oil rises again to the solar plexus to burn frankincense, to burn power and sloth for modesty and speed. The solar plexus is where the golden altar is found, where you burn incense, anointing oil, olive oil, and frankincense. On the golden altar, you sacrifice anger, power, sloth, and distrust for patience, humility, and speed. Here, incense and frankincense are burned. To burn is to sacrifice to be incensed, which means to be angered. It also sacrifices to be proud or to be slow. At this place, the holy anointing oil is patiently saved and stored of calmness and relaxation. Here, olive oil is burned, and greed, pride, and power are sacrificed for humility. Moderation develops, balance matures, reaching stability and connection. Moses, or the Mosaic Oil, then rises higher to the vicinity of the heart, the cardiac plexus. The cardiac plexus is the guilt offering altar. This creates love, guilt, sorrow, and remorse. Here we are sacrificing guiltlessness for guilt and remorse. Moses, or the Mosaic Oil, now rises even higher to the throat chakra. This is the sin offering altar. Here, the sacrifice is confession. Here, we are sacrificing denial for confession and acceptance. The confessional sacrifice causes euphoric sensations, creates peace of mind, understanding, calmness, mercy, and forgiveness. The throat chakra is the vagus nerve, or the pneumogastric nerve, ridding grudges and guilt. Here, the Mosaic Oil is consecrated, refined, and transmuted. Consecrated meaning it is thoroughly built up and collected. It is vital to not let the hair go loose or rend clothes, keeping emotional warmth. Not losing hair or rending clothes is to fight temptation and keep loving. It is to not transform qualities or go back down the spine tearing clothes. It is important to keep the vibrational frequency high and preserve the oil. It is also important not to go out of the sanctuary nor profane the sanctuary. This is because the consecration of the anointing oil is upon you. When the oil is so high in the vagus nerve, one must fight every temptation. The anointing oil is being refined in the vagus nerve, causing restitution and redemption. The oil ascends to the pons next to the medulla, the reptilian or instinctual brain. The pons deals with hearing, taste, and balance. Here, one must not curse the deaf and trip over stumbling blocks, meaning one must avoid verbal and visual triggers that could deplete the oil and cause a descent. The pons raises the consecrated, preserved, refined, and transmuted oil. The oil rises into the thalamus where new blood is produced and old blood replaced. Dormant brain cells are reactivated, awakened, and old toxic blood is replaced. The thalamus is the altar for a continual meal offering of joy, replacing pleasure. Now, the solar plexus is the organ of intuition, the gut feeling. The thalamus is the organ of telepathy, and when reached generates new blood. The thalamus illuminates the 7 stars, or 7 virtues, and preserves the dimness of the 7 sins. The mitre and the crown is the pineal gland, pouring oil on the head causing wakefulness. There are 7 gates, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 tongue or mouth that must be guarded. The thalamus is the light of the world. It is also called the Ark of the Covenant, and the pineal gland illuminates it. When the Mosaic Oil reaches the thalamus and the pineal gland, vision is granted. When the oil reaches the thalamus and the pineal gland, a person will know their true purpose, what really matters. They will feel incredible, and they will inherit a new perception. They will become naturally aware of the 613 virtues and attain a golden perception of the thalamus. The Mosaic Oil, or the Holy Anointing Oil, will give divine benefits beyond measure. The oil will provide enthusiasm, motivation, direction, focus, power, intuition, decisiveness, imagination, knowledge, understanding, peace, love, and healing. The anointment oil will provide omnisciency, omnipresency, and omnipotency. The anointment attains 2 cherubs or cherubim of altruism and selflessness. The heave offering takes place at the coccyx, the burnt offering at the sacrum, the incense offering at the solar plexus, the frankincense offering at the solar plexus, the anointing oil offering also at the solar plexus, and the olive oil offering also at the solar plexus. The guilt offering takes place at the cardiac plexus, the sin offering at the throat plexus, the meal offering at the third eye plexus, and the holy crown offering at the crown and mitre plexus.